Up top, East Coast growing hard. Dirty South, Gulf Coast growing hard. West Coast, Southwest growing hard. Midwest, Mid-South growing hard. Can't talk about health, can't talk about wealth till we talk about feeding ourselves. Good great feed ain't what we need, so we gotta level up that shelf. Gotta turn that dirt, put in that work. From the city block to the backwood, from the cuts to the cuts and the black hoods. Trying to live forwards, not backwards. Cash your vote, I'ma cash my seed. Let's see which one gon' feed. What food that your people need. Put it in Operation Warp Speed, no force feed, I'm Gucci. Headed black to the basic. My vaccination is vegetation, and we ain't catching no cases. Up top, East Coast, going hard. Down South, Gulf Coast, going hard. West Coast, Southwest, growing hard. Midwest, Mid-South, growing hard. On my ags, tall, growing hard. Black farmers in the field, growing hard. All my scientists involved, growing hard. All my scholars in the growing hard.
What's going on, B1AGers? Welcome back for another episode of B1AG. Here at B1AG, we focus on agriculture from a Black perspective or from a B1 perspective. Now, when I say agriculture, we're not just talking about farming and growing and gardening. We're talking about all things agriculture as it comes to as it pertains to agricultural production, education, marketing, nutrition, economics for the Black family, for the Black community. Now, today, we've got a little bit of a interesting topic. We're going to talk about your boy, Master P, hip hop icon, rap legend, Master P, entrepreneur of our generation, one of the best, greatest entrepreneurs of our generation that we've seen. I mean, if you look at the life of Master P, I mean, he's literally had 10 lives. I mean, he's been a dope dealer. He's been a rapper. He's been a label owner. He's been an NBA. He's flipped that into, has chips and movies and had communication businesses. I mean, he's been able to leverage his fame and his hustling skills into a wide range of businesses. And now Master P is stepping into the arena of food. And so B1AG, we're going to talk about make him say, can Master P replace Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben? Now, these are two, Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben are two staples in our culture when it comes to food. However, these two staples, Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben, were never Black owned. To a certain sense, they were a source of pride because we bought these products because these boxes had people that looked like us. And we've even fought those companies, to clean up their image because they were steeped in racial imagery, resulting from slavery. Uncle Ben, Aunt Jemima, they both were slave caricatures. And now we have Master P, who's stepping in to attempt to replace those two titans of imageries that we have in our food system. Now, as every day, we bring you this daily bread, and we have Farmer Brown EMC. And what say you about Master P?
You body, I'm body. Everybody body, then say you body. I represent where the farmers grow. KY to Georgia, yeah, we really fitting the blow. Man, first I'd like to say peace to the family. This is a beautiful day today. So we actually have sunlight in Kentucky now. I went, I think, the whole week last week not getting any sun. And my melanin could feel it. And so now I'm feeling refreshed. This is a great topic today. Just bringing up Master P's name, man, it takes me back to high school, the Carver parties, the college parties, the shelter parties, after the ball games. It used to be jumping. And I remember I was in ninth grade. Ninth grade when I first heard Master P. and it was the 99 Ways to Die. I remember cats, used to play it on the bus. And, we're from Kentucky, and so we, this was something totally new. This guy with a gold grill, going through all of that. But I watched, I was fortunate, from the first time I heard somebody listening to it on the school bus on the way to school, to seeing how Master P affected not only the world, but specifically the Black community. And when we think of icons, when we think about the people of history that we see images of today, your George Washington Carvers, your Ida B. Wells, your Booker T. Washingtons, you realize that Master P, in my modest opinion, and I think there's millions of brothers and sisters around North America would agree, he affected our communities in so many indelible ways that maybe I'm biased to down south music, but Master P has affected the industrial consciousness of a people. And so saying that to say we'll start, and I know we're talking about pancakes, but the science that he built No Limit Records on, that he's built his empire, I think is one that all of us can glean something from, especially those of us that grew up in a time when everybody had true tattoos on their stomach, gold grills. This is C Murder, Silk the Shocker. I remember every Tuesday, KY Finest, we ride in this Great Cavalier, go to Sammy's music store and pick up some new No Limit album. And then on the back of it, he has a promo of all these other albums coming out. This was long before streaming. This was before social media. And so one of the things that we generally respected about Master P was this concept of selling out of the trunk. I remember he had come up to Lexington, Kentucky, like he had gone traveling all around the country before he ever had a actual production deal or distribution deal. And so what that represented was he did it grassroots. He didn't wait for a chance to come and give him opportunity. They said he did. One of the things you were mentioning earlier, he was a record store owner, to add to his long list of hats that Master P has worn just since we've known about the person Percy Miller. And so he leveraged his knowledge of a record store, understanding the distribution of vinyl, the distribution of these cassette tapes at the time, and then CDs. He understood how to take that and how can I apply this to a larger scale. As a record store owner, what if I have my own music? Think about a farmer's market. Think about, a value-added vendor when we're talking about food security in the Black community. Okay, well, if I'm selling these records, how dope would it be if I can make my own records? And so, he put that out there. He traveled around. Oh, man, how dope would it be if I can put other people on, and every month I can have a consistent rollout of new records? And in essence, that was the No Limit Records model. When we look at it now, when we think back to production quality now, it wasn't the best musical compositions, but No Limit Records was a movement. More than music, more than, how many people danced to No Limit. We literally watched hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Black men. I'm one of them. That we went from, enjoying the West Coast, turn up, smoke chronic, to, what was going on the East Coast, cream, cash rules, everything around me. We went from the players to, when Master P was talking about this independence, people's mind changed. He changed their wavelength in Black America. And this is when we went from, I just want to be a rapper, to no, I want to own a record label. And I know a lot of our sisters out there, especially in the 90s, early 2000s, if you've met 20 Black men, you've probably come across 10 that was either working on a record label or writing or got some big break happening. I know this because I was one of them, right? But when I think about my hometown of Lexington, Kentucky, a lot of the brothers now who's in our 40s, late 30s, who are really making big industry moves, going into big sectors as bosses, not as employees, people going into construction, all of these different areas. These were all gentlemen who was trying to make record labels, what they call it, at-home records. But it was an industrious that we learned way better than what a teacher could tell us in the classroom from watching Master P and his motion. So tying that to this move with Aunt Jemima. So, in the recent months, it's been controversy over the image. The Black woman with the bandana, kind of chubby face, greasy. It fills into this archetype. But I think one of the unintended consequences, from the melanated perspective, is that, her family was getting residuals from somebody in their family's image being used to sell a product. And so in our anger to, oh, no, you can't keep depicting us like this, a Black family lost some money. Because now, if y'all don't want this disrespecting image, then I'm going to take the original image that was generating these residuals for her family, the Greens and the Harringtons. I no longer owe you this now since I don't have to use the image of your ancestor. And so I think when we look towards the future of products, you had mentioned earlier about Uncle Ben's and Aunt Jemima. They didn't own those. They were faces that sold a product. The Black Panther effect. We love seeing ourselves on a box. We love seeing ourselves depicted. Master P has been able to masterfully, and he's one of few that actually has credentials. We have a lot of, you see these stories on your timeline. Oh, first black to do this, first black to do this. And these are cats that's come out of nowhere, to a younger person that don't know no better. Hey, it's all new world. But those of us adults, those of us that got, children, trying to figure out what can we do to contribute to our community, we realize that Master P has a background, an honest background. We know what you was involved in. We know the players for the most part that you've been dealing with. We see that you've gone to Nickelodeon and created family shows. We see that you've shown us through your actions how to make family businesses out of basic skill sets. We've seen the concept of pen and pixel graphics, right? He used to have the coolest CD covers. You'd have cats, just regular hood cat that got like a diamond crown and tigers in the back. That was new to us, but it sold the product. And so applying P's model of no limit records and selling records, what can we glean from Percy Miller to sell products? Not just any products, but products specifically sourced by Black producers and farmers. Once again, Master P understands he's not going to overtake General Mills or Quaker Oats, and I don't think that's what he set out to do. But in this game, you claim your fame. Nobody's going to come to you and say, hey, man, I'm going to come help you so you can compete with me. It don't work like that. And I think this is a great opportunity for not only the Miller family, but anybody watching to see like, okay, Nancy Green, and this was the original picture on Aunt Jemima. She didn't have $1 million and a multi-million-dollar record label that she ran for the last 20 decades before her image was used to sell pancake mix, which is a value-added product derived from wheat, sugar, eggs, I imagine milk. All of these are value-added products. P's coming in the game as a millionaire with clout, with the spending class. Our age group and older represents the spending class. We're typically the parents who's going to decide what we shop, for at the store, what we order. The kids are generally, ooh, mom, I want this, I want this. And so you look at the cereal section. They know who they're selling their cereal to. And so if we can apply these non-biased, because, why I don't want this black man on this rice box, it makes me think of Uncle Ben. We got to get off of that. Is this product a product that's going to enrich our community? On the rudimentary level, we want a healthy product. When I eat this, I have nutrition. I'm healthier. I'm sustaining a diet. But also with this dollar I spend, with this $5 I'm gonna spend on this batter, I know X amount of this money I'm putting into this product is going to a Black business who openly said, one of the things, and I'm not digressing away, one of the things Master P has openly and always said is this is about Black business. This is about empowering Black people. I've never understood or heard Master P to be a beggar. And I think that's the thing that most generally people respect about him. I remember people thought he was dumb. Oh, you hear how them down south niggas talk all crazy? And they understood how to play that to the advantage. Like, oh, you think because I speak differently than you, I don't understand what you're saying? Okay. Yeah, just I'll keep 85% and you take 15%. And Universal thought they was pulling like this master scheme on Master P. And once he did it, I mean, it changed the game. Elder told me you only get some moves once. And he got to constantly keep re-strategizing. But he opened our eyes to how we can really be producers and processors versus just being consumers.
Now, just to put in a little perspective about what Master P is doing with his food line. His food line is called Uncle P's Louisiana Seasons Food. And his food line includes beans, grits, rice, as well as pancake mix, syrup, oatmeal. These are staples in the Black community's food. Like these are things that we buy, and it's been proven, and marketing will show that these are things that we buy. Now, when Quaker Oats and Mars, even though they profited off the images of Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben, when they were hit with force about the racial imagery behind those characters, they decided to do away with it. Now, when you look at, and this is Master P talking, he says, when you look at Aunt Jemima and you look at Uncle Ben, we don't own those products. We never did. We need to understand that we're not going to be able to put money back in that's the Black community, because we don't own those brands. Our grandparents have been having us buy these products because they think it's people that look like us. So what Master P is doing is showing us he's showing us the way. He's being a real life example of how, okay, this is how it's been done. They've used they know that we drive culture and consumer products. So instead of just them having another company use us, we are going to promote ourselves. We're going to promote ourselves. And like what you said, like Master P has never been a beggar, and he hasn't. He's always been an owner. And
don't forget about Reebok.
Yes, and then and also he partnered with a former executive at Tesla. He has his own electric car now. So he's branching all out into all the business sectors and trailblazing ways. Okay, well, Master P did it, I can do it. Or when he's successful, maybe these other companies, they'll look like, well, that guy, Percy Miller, Master P, he was able to do it. Maybe I should give this guy a chance too. Because at the end of the day, it's all about making money, and not too many people are going to turn down good money. Now,
sadly, man, so the math of it, to people that understand basic math, is okay, this Black man got this product. It doesn't matter what it is. It's whatever it is in this box, selling it for this. You think in a community where most of us are aware of economic disparities, it would be just a no-brainer, right? But one of the things, it's very interesting looking at the comment sections on some of these articles, and it's melanated folks like, why has it got to be Black for? Why, like we find all of these different reasons not to support people. And my thing is, your pancake has no politics. This pancake, the contents of this box have no politics. It is an inanimate product of the earth that's been processed in a way for consumption. No different than your generic brand, no different than Bisquick, anything else. These are some of the mental, I would say, deficiencies we have that stop this economy from going. Like we said, from shoes to food products, and entertainment, and electricity and vehicles. He's proven that, hey, y'all, with X amount of money, you can buy your way into bosshood instead of consuming your way. Look how much money I can spend. No, look what I did with the money I earned. I bought something that I can now sell. And I can, from the top end, say I'm going to help my people out, versus on the back end, which we have a lot of these organizations now. I want to help Black people, but will you pay me some money to do it? And then when you start that way, and that's that begging concept, it doesn't make you bad, right? If there's people that want to help, the best way you can help me is shop with me, right? Best way we can help Master P is shop with him. I'm pretty sure he's seen enough articles about himself that, hey, I've seen myself. So don't share this accomplishment I've had. Figure out what stores I'm selling my products in. I've let you know from the jump, because there's a power in honesty. I've let you know from the jump I'm using some of this to create Black businesses and long term create Black jobs. And so as a Black community, to the degree that we value ourselves, value our communities, value opportunities where people like this have positioned themselves to help. Am I going to spend my $5 with him, or am I going to go back and get Aunt Jemima or Bisquick? And that comes down to a consumer decision that you can't beat nobody over the head. But like you said, you can't lose by buying Black. And this, whether you want to call it an economic war, a spiritual war, I don't think there's nothing in the universe that rewards you from operating against your own best interest of what you've manifested as in the universe. We were talking earlier, as a squirrel, I have every responsibility in the world to get as many nuts as I can to take back to this tree of other squirrels. Now, if I'm on my journey to get these nuts and I see a few gophers or chipmunks or rabbits sitting there like, hey, man, can you help me get these nuts? These other animals have every right in the world to look out for their best interests. I'm a gopher. Squirrel, I know you want to take these back to your squirrel home, but if you're going to ask for my help, guess what? I'm going to take my piece. And so when we're thinking about business, when we're thinking about politics, until we're able to support our own, and we can have this conversation until we're blue in the face, until we learn how to support our own and break this social marketing concept that black products are somehow less quality, that black people are somehow not as good at business people. If I shop black, then my white friends and my Asian and my Hispanic friends will think I'm pro-black. These are all, and not just in Master P's situation, but even with some of the farmers we've worked with. You'd be surprised some of the nuances that they deal with at a farmer's market. You already don't have much market share. The average consumer at a farmer's market is going to be overwhelmingly white. It's not yet reached that critical mass of our culture. So as a black farmer, and then I challenge you to go to one, right? I know the deeper south you go, you'll find some black farmers markets, but for the most part, you might have one or two. And so there's this thing of, okay, I'm aware of my skin and everybody walking past here is too. My tomatoes might be greater than everybody's, but I have to play the game to sell my produce. I mean, I did my job as a producer in the field, but there's all of these other little social unseen dynamics. Nobody's ever going to come to the farmer's face, hey, your fingers are black, I can't buy this. Nobody will say that, but they'll look at it. Let it be a little blemish on this tomato. Oh, he didn't spill some. He's not conscientious of safety. There are black people that say, where'd you get this from? Whose produce is this? I can't make this stuff up. There's people that say, I mean, why do you even got to be a black farmer? Why can't we just have a farmer's market? And so we have people that have a mentality of, I don't want you to try to do anything black. I don't want to shop black because black ain't no good. And so as long as you have any amount of your population, it doesn't matter what race or it doesn't matter what you are. If you have a significant amount of whatever you are actively working against what you are, the math of that is it's always going to be a mess. Going back to Master P and these investments, I think this is probably one of the greatest lessons that I hope parents are showing their kids. Telling stories. Hey, I remember, when we was growing up, we used to turn up to this guy. Now look what he's doing. Son, I want to have these discussions with my son. Son, these are the crazy things Dad did listening to this man's music, but look what this man is doing now. I want you to have your own path, but hey, you see what the rich people are investing in. You see what the icons are investing in. Skip those years of kind of wasting around. Kind of skip those years of shooting idle. Go for ownership. Don't go to get signed. Go to sign people fairly, right? And so that's the law of compensation. If you don't like these horrible 360 deals that people are getting, if you don't like these predatory forms of assistance that new black businesses and farmers are getting, how do we as a community make it rain on them? We eat just like anybody else has to eat. Only when we decide that, I care about, I might not ever meet this black farmer, but because I know there's a man that figured out a way to get this pancake mix in this box, I know that because there's no black farmer that can produce all the wheat necessary for one. And so for those that are scared, oh my God, y'all are talking about separatism. No, we're being very real. We're talking about a sector where we represent 1.4%. So in our best efforts, if half of the 44 million black people in America today decided to say, yep, I'm going to shop black and I'm going to start growing, it's still another couple. You're still looking at about 80%. We're still down. Do you see what I'm saying? And so the thing is, we don't fix these disparities until we learn to support our own, until we don't look at supporting our own as something radical or pro-black. I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with being pro-black, but as a business person, as somebody that's into, the sociological aspect of how we interact with one another. We have these horrible mindsets that's been marketed to us and refined throughout the generations where it turns into this zero wealth by 2050. If we don't take leadership of people like Master P. Never met the man in my life, he's never met me, but I understand the value of if I can follow this man's blueprint, apply it to where I'm at, my specific location, same way as, hey, I want to be a record label owner. And so through pursuing that, I was able to find all sorts of ways to make money. And so saying that if we have that same energy with food production, I just want to feed my block and I want to make some money doing it. And I want what I'm feeding my block to be healthy. If you start with that energy alone, you become the P of your block.
And then what I also understand just with the circulation of money in the black dollar. Now, Master P, even though it's Master P, if we support Master P in his business ventures, especially with food, he has already proven that he will give back to the Black community. That is part of his business plan. That is part of his structure. You know, whatever whenever he makes, he's going to give back. So why not spend with somebody who's going to at least give back to your community? The Black community, far too often, we spend all of our money with entities that do not spend with us. You know, and that's why we're approaching that zero wealth, because we don't own. And then when we do spend, we spend with communities that take our money and can then circulate our money throughout their communities. And we have to change that dynamic. So, Brian, could you speak on the importance of not just buying Black, but especially supporting someone like Master P? For instance, let me add this in. Like, say, let's go back to Katrina. Now, back when Hurricane Katrina happened, you know, Master P had his own clothing line. So when all those people were sitting there without clothes and disparaged, Master P took warehouses of his own clothes that he was producing and gave them to the people. Now, in the situation like in Houston, I'm pretty sure that Master P is on the front line somewhere feeding somebody. And if any other major catastrophe happens, Master P is going to be on the front lines like, look, I got these food for you. I have these clothes for you. I got these shoes for you. It's like he's not in the position. He's not just in a position to sell us, but he's also in a position to help us in more ways than one.
Have you ever seen, I could be wrong, have you ever seen a person from Asia get on TV, Instagram, field timelines? I just bought this product made from Black people. You only have to say the word Black, right? Have you ever seen them stunt? Like, I'm going to show you my value based on how much money I just spent with this Black man or this Black woman. I don't know. I mean, but can you tell me any other ethnicity that evaluates themselves on, I just spent $5,000 on a purse made by somebody that could care less about me, and they've let me know. Remember the little mask, the Gucci mask? We pride ourselves on, I spent more money away from the community than you did, and this has become our competition. Oh, you saying that, bro, because you broke? No, I'm Birdman. Trust me. Think about this. How do you create wealth when literally you have a group that evaluates? You know, I see the value in myself based on how much money, fiat, current, the wave, how much of my wave, which is a representation of my time and energy and effort and intellect, how much of this can I give to another creator of something that's not my own, right? When you think about P and what he represents, for the people into the Bible, he came unto his people and his own received him not. His own received him not. Like you said, way past what we might buy from Percy Miller, he has positioned himself. This goes back to what we were talking about the other day with every hood should have at least 10 people who have a community-supported ag and food security system going. He is actively doing it. He's actively shown it. I'm not going to disparage churches or organizations, but wow, what if every church and every hood in America was doing 1/10 of what Master P does? He had to do it through the record labels, right? I mean, it's not like we got communities full of people. This is like, yeah, brother, with gold teeth that talk funny, I'm gonna fund your endeavor to make Black entrepreneurs. P didn't have that. P got out and got it from the mud, right? If every church gave, I say 1/10 of what P does, and it's not always money. Sometimes it's facilities. Like you said, he positioned himself because I make clothes. And, you know, people really don't buy these no limit clothes, but I know you're in the cold over here after this hurricane, and I happen to have a factory, or I happen to have a lot of inventory. So as a man, take my rap image away. I've created food, fuel, and fiber, food, clothing, and shelter. These are what people need in the time of distress, whether there's money or not. He positioned himself as a businessman to be that for his community. P's not the only brother around here with money and street knowledge. Any city I've ever gone to, I meet lots of them, right? We're very creative people. And so it's like, how do you create a domino effect of what Master P has done with something as simple as pancake mix? Like I said, there's a science. Like, you can really break down what is it that Black people eat. If I had time to go through it right now, I already have it. It's known what we eat. We know how much of it we eat. We know how many of it is. And so it only makes logical sense whether you're listening to our discussion we're having or you think on your own. Now, how can I feed X amount of people in my hood right now? How much does this cost? We know every individual is going to eat about 200 square feet worth of produce annually. You have between 43 square feet within 1 acre, meaning you can feed about 50 some people per acre, right? No, 50 some families. Let me get that straight. 50 some families per acre. Every hood should have a model. It should just be just like I know any hood I go to, I'm going to know where to buy corn. I'm going to know where to buy this. I'm going to know where to buy that. Every hood you go to, it should be second nature. Like, I want to eat. I just came up from Miami. I'm posting up in Memphis. Where's the local food at? And that should be just as normal. It don't matter the language I'm speaking. It don't matter whether I speak a deep down south language or up north. It should be known. That's what the Green Book was when we think about the history of your black towns, your Tulsas and Black Wall Streets. It was a Green Book. It was culture. I know I'm going to go somewhere where that somebody that looks like me ain't going to poison me. They're not going to tax me. And when I leave your establishment, I'm not going to get bombarded with some act of violence. And so our ancestors, our elders already knew that. You know, when you listen to Neely Fuller, he talks about this codified approach. It don't mean we're sitting kumbaya and all day. It means when I step out to do what I'm going to do, it's going to have the most productive outcome, fighting towards justice. Me asking somebody to be nice and, hey, can y'all let us in on your market? That's not producing justice. P did something that's producing justice. I'm not going to ask y'all to let me in the market. I'm going to put myself in the market. Now, as a community, are we prepared to get behind this man and buy pancake mix? He didn't say, I want you to convert to this religion or that, or drop something in the offering plate and hope something helps you. No, I'm providing, and my track record has shown I make things happen. I inspire entrepreneurism. Can we take that model and apply it to agriculture, especially this next generation? Because if we're looking at what rap music is selling us right now, man, I don't see, maybe it's the elder in me, the elder in training in me, but I don't see anything being sold to our children market-wise, socially marketing, that's going to turn them into competitive entrepreneurs. You got some countries their education didn't shut down for a whole year. We have students walking around in America right now. It's literally a whole year. I didn't learn nothing. I was just in the house with mama. She's stressed out. Dad's stressed out. I didn't learn nothing, but this is a crazy world. There's other people around the world who are going to be the adults that our kids are going to compete with, who didn't fall back, and they know exactly what they're doing. I'm going to get good at something. I'm going to apply it to family business, which is going to in turn strengthen my community. And that's righteous. That's righteous. Like I said, I hate to get into the spiritual realm of it, but we were not given a spirit of weakness. And the God that most people, I would say, that believe in God is not an author of confusion. This is a very simple transaction. This person here produced something. He's shown you in spirit and truth that this is what he does. This is what he has. You're in a community that has food security issues. You're in a community that's not even creating food. If you want my divine providence, I put you in a garden. Y'all cats want to run to the hoods. Y'all want to run to the clubs. Y'all want to run to the malls. Y'all want to run to the ball games. Where's my divine providence going to protect you if you're running away from where I put you? Master P to me, and I'm being funny, but not, he's an angel. He's been an angel sent from the Most High to show y'all niggas how to do business.
Wow, I hope no one gets offended by that. We mean that in the most respectful way.
In the most spiritual, respectful, humble way.
Yes. And that's what it's all about. It's really about our children. Can Master P, Percy Miller, replace Aunt Jemima and Uncle Bean? Now, what we know about Aunt Jemima and Uncle Bean, these were characters used by white companies to promote to us, but they weren't owned by us. Can we rally behind Master P to help him replace that void that Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima have left, that now they've been taken off the market as far as their image? And when it comes to food, it's going to take us supporting. It's going to take us spending that money. But I would rather spend my money, me personally, with someone that is going to, invest back into me, invest back into my community. And Master P has shown over and over and over and over again that that's who he is and that's what he does. So
you got to ask, why are we so willing to buy drugs and try experimental drugs that the rappers and the entertainers promote to us, but somebody's promoting food and it becomes controversial? I think it's the most interesting dynamic.
I mean, but that's why we're here. That's why we are here at B1AG, because we really want you to get a different perspective on how you view food, how you view agriculture, how you view agricultural production, to see the importance of having a stake in your own food system. We have to own a stake in this. We have to invest in this. We have to put our energy towards this. We have to put our money towards this. This is what we have to do. Any final thoughts, Farmer Brian MC, before we get out of here?
This is my daughter right here, man. I've been blessed to have twins. And every day, you want to have that compassionate part of you, but I realize what they say, business is war. We know it's not a matter of make-believe and pie in the sky. We know strong families create strong businesses. If you have these divided factions that we call what you call situationships in our community, how do you begin to build business? And then once you've built that family structure, and this goes into what we're talking about, being able to support. If we have all of these rogue factions in our community that are constantly at odds with one another, trying to prove a point about this, trying to level up on this person, that would literally socialize the supportive gene necessary to support Masterpiece Pancakes. I'm not coming from emotional. I'm saying your genes, these are natural mechanisms given to us to survive in an ecosystem. At a time, a giraffe's neck was short, and it realized over many generations, if I want to eat this particular type of leaf, and so each generation the neck gets longer. I told you my observation with my children. I have habits in my life. My daughter does this. Came out of the womb doing this, and my son sucks his thumb like this. Our genes are very indelible. And I'm not going to stand up, but if you've built your body mentally and your body physically bending over, so to speak, cowering in the face of competition, guess what offspring is going to do? And so when we're talking about business, it's always easy. Let me just go buy. With this paycheck I got, instead of me investing this $5,000 I'm about to spend on a purse, I'll put $2,500 of it away just in case a Houston situation happened. And I'm going to find 5 black farmers I can get $500 to and buy a CSA. That'll get you a good CSA share for the price of a purse that many other people have, right? And so, I can't be a pocket watcher. It's not my business to be a pocket watcher, but I do challenge everybody within range of our voices to really look at the long-term impacts of our children watching us actively, intentionally support black business. Okay, maybe you don't want to buy my beads. Maybe you don't want to buy my shea butter. Maybe you don't want to buy my books. You eat pancakes. You eat rice. If there's a brother that provides this and it's in a store near you, as soon as I see some Master P pancake mix pop up at Kroger, oh, it's on. As soon as I find out it's within driving ranges of where I live, it's on. No question asked. If I don't like it, somebody will. But the point is, this is somebody who is shown. We've become a petty people. I hate to say it. We've become a petty people because we have all of the opportunities in the world right now to shine like never before. We have all the opportunity in the world right now to swing this in a direction it's never been, or it hasn't been in tens of thousands of years. We are the living manifestation of the Songhai Empire, the Mali Empire, the Olmec Empire, the 5 civilized tribes, the Aztecs, the Incas. All around the world, we are the progeny of them. Master P is an Olmec king. He is a Blackfoot king. He is a Choctaw king. And so when we see our own showing us exactly what to do, and it's met with scrutiny, it's met with some sort of uncertainty, you really have to, what is our colony? Are we in colony collapse? But saying all of that to say, people, we have an opportunity in a lifetime. And the thing is, once you're aware of something, you're accountable. We can't act like we didn't just see this man over the last few decades turn in from a so-called gangster rapper to somebody that can feed whole blocks openly. He doesn't bow down to nobody. What does Frank Sinatra say? I did it my way. When that man dies, regardless if he got $1 million or nothing, he did it his way. I would rather my children see an example of a black man or woman that do it for the people than somebody that just coward. I just won't get to the next day, brother. Master P is a living example.
Yes, sir. With that being said, B1AGers, are you going to support Master P? Are you going to support other black food producers? Are you going to increase black wealth? Are we going to invest our money in people that will invest in us? You know, that's a charge for me to take. That's a charge for Farmer Brown MC to take. That's a charge for you to take. That's a charge for your families to take, your friends. That's a charge for all of us to take who are in this community. So I hope y'all got something from this discussion today. You know, make them say, can Master P replace Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben? That's up to you and I. So as we do every day, when we give you this daily bread, when we end off the show, we want to keep reinforcing this on you. If you really want to know something,
family, stop being petty and let's learn how to grow something.
That's what's up. B1AG. See y'all again. Peace out.